Welcome to the Habits to Goals podcast with Martin Grunburg. It's time to take control of your life. Are you ready to achieve goals faster and more consistently than ever before? You need the Habit Factor. You're listening to Habits to Goals, the podcast that helps you create the habits that lead to success. And here is Martin Grunburg.
Alrighty, here we go. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. My name is Martin Grunburg. You have reached Habits to Goals, the podcast, of course, that helps you realize the fastest, most efficient way to achieve your goals is to put the wind at your back, so to speak, meaning we align, we conscientiously craft positive habits that are aligned with our goals so we achieve our goals more quickly. Today we have a Mind Bullet Monday. This has been on my mind, but first let me hit you with a bit of a GTR, a good things report, because I realize, and it's been pointed out to me, thank you, that I have not done a GTR. Usually it's something I do, if we have a co-host or we have an interview. But I have been prompted to do them on my other episodes as long as I can remember to do so. So speaking of interviews, my GTR is just this. I'm not going to give away who the interview was, but one of the key messages, and it's a fantastic one that came out of this interview, which will be airing in a few weeks, is this idea that, and I've done an episode in the past, it's dedicated, it's called Leverage, but what came out, and many things came out of this interview, was there's always a lever, there's always a smarter way, a better way. And so I'm sharing this with you. This is not what the show's about, but this is my GTR. So I went back with this in mind and started retooling one of my companies. Just where's the lever? And the short story is I found a few levers, and it's just we're gonna have the same amount of clients, and yet we are going to not only serve them better, provide them better products. We're able to do all of that, make more money, and have the same amount of clients. So that's my GTR. It's an idea that's worth reiterating. Find your lever, find your better way to do things. And again, that'll be coming up in a few weeks. So that's my GTR. Today's Mind Bullet. Stick with me here. You're going to like this one. It's this idea, at least I hope you will. It's this idea that how often do you hear, oh, he or she takes life too seriously? Raise your hand if you hear that. And if you're like me, that kind of sticks in the back of your head, and you're like, yeah, you gotta stay loose. You gotta see the humor in things. You have to lighten up. You have to not take life too seriously. And once again, and I don't know how many times these themes come up over and over, how many times you've heard me say this idea of be careful of dichotomous thinking. It's very dangerous. In fact, go ahead and Google it, and you're going to find, incredibly, that it's a sign. So dichotomous thinking is just simply black and white thinking. It's digging in your heels. It's taking sides. It's arguing for the sake of arguing without really thinking. And it's actually a sign of of, what's the term? I don't want to say mental weakness. Gosh darn it, hang on a sec. Yeah, so there it is. So mental illness, not mental weakness. It's dichotomous thinking. Go ahead and Google it. Is a sign of personality disorder, mental illness. Black and white thinking. If you took a stance, and I did this on Facebook. Oh man, it was probably 2 years ago when the FBI was coming after Apple and everybody was lighting up Facebook and they're like, damn it, Apple's got to turn it over to the government. And then people are like taking Apple's side and everybody's arguing it's this or it's this or it's this. And I simply posted this idea, hey, there's probably a third alternative. Like let's just look at the big picture. We don't have to necessarily take a side. I'm sure there's a way where Apple can protect its trade secrets and privacy, and the government can get what it is they are looking for. So lo and behold, it took probably a few months, but that's exactly what happened. They found a third alternative. More recently, another example of this was the tragic school shooting in Florida. And so, again, everybody's digging in their heels. It's the guns, stupid. And the other side is saying, no, it's mental illness. And and problem solving involves looking at all of the alternatives, all of the possibilities. It's not just guns, my take, and it's not just mental illness. We can do better with gun control. We can do better screening, supporting, and filtering mental illness. Plus, we can do better mentoring. I mean, there's probably a dozen different ways to attack the problem, and there needs to be leadership, and people need to attack the problem. Having said that, that's still not what this episode's about, although it is from a dichotomous thinking standpoint. So, do you take life too seriously? Or perhaps, do you not take it too seriously? And here's the kicker. Isn't there a way to do both? Finding that balance. I keep saying both is the balance. Both is the equilibrium. So my point, my suggestion is, and there's still more coming, is we got to take life seriously and we have to take life not so seriously. So then the question is, about what? About when? About how? And that's a personal decision. You need to figure it out. I'm just going to share with you what happened with me fairly recently. And I started taking something in my life very seriously. And by the way, parenthetically, the people who, it's the old success is no accident. So the people who arrive where they're trying to go, you can damn well bet, pardon my French, that they are taking life seriously. Now, hopefully they find the opportunity to take it not so seriously as well. But in order to get from point A to point B, you need to have intentionality, and you need to know where you're going, and you need clarity, and you need habit alignment, and you need all these good things. That doesn't happen by accident. So probably close to 2 years ago, I found a guy that was wrestling in high school, which is crazy, at $156-ish. 2 years ago, now granted I'm 30 plus years removed from high school, but I found myself teetering 193, 194, far heavier than I wanted to be. And so I won't bore you with the kind of evolution that took place, but over the last 6 weeks, I got very, very intentional, taking life seriously about my body fat in particular. And so what I did was an underwater dunk tank. And I think the first one I did, it was somewhere around 16 something %. And then I got super intentional. And this is where the mind bullet is. If you want it, my experience tells me you track it. Now you can use the app. In my case, because it's just, I wasn't tracking the habits. I knew the habits. Well, I wasn't not tracking them. But the point is, I was using a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet, but you can use Excel or Apple Sheets or whatever it is. But the point is, if you really want it, and that's why the show is, what do you want? Track it. So I was not only tracking, well, I was exclusively tracking the weight, my weight, but then I would chronicle what I was eating. And it's just a simple Google Sheet, but I was making the entries daily. And even today, I haven't yet entered, but I'm going to. So I'm caught up through today. I've been doing this for 6 weeks. Happy to report to you, and really this is just an accountability for me, that I made it down to 14.8% body fat, which matches my 12-year record, I guess. Not total record low, but 12 years ago I did the dunk tank, and I was in the 14s as well. I think also exactly like 14.6 or 14.8. So the good news, I'm trending in the right direction, and now I'm trying to get to the low 13s, who knows, maybe even 12. But none of it's happening without getting intentional, without taking it seriously. And very seriously. So what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, that has been tracked. So that's it, my friends. This could be, for you, it could be about saving money. It could be about getting out of debt. It could be about tracking your weight or body fat or whatever it is. It could be about increasing income. My point is, if you really want it, get intentional, get clear, and start tracking. So the subpoint here is take life seriously, where and when you need to, and then continue, if you're doing a good job at this, to not take it seriously. Some of you are taking it too seriously, and you probably need to lighten up. But there's a very good chance what it is you're going after, you're not recording, you're not tracking. So if you want to get more into detail, you can shoot me a message on this. But that's kind of the long and short of it, is get intentional, track it. There was a week there where I was at 181.8 for, seems like, 4 days in a row. But recognizing it's a process, we broke through. So 179.9 and hoping to trend down to 178. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, and I wanted to share that. It's this intentionality. So yes, we're tracking our habits, we're using habit alignment to achieve our goals, but above and beyond all that, it's just get out a spreadsheet and title the days, meaning in one column, the dates and the days, and then you always, well, I shouldn't say always, it's recommended that you have notes or comments. So you can say what happened maybe yesterday, what happened today. And the idea is you're reaffirming your intentionality to this goal. So there it is. Take life seriously where and when you want to. In fact, hold on a sec. I'm going to grab, so about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, some guys in my company, it was exclusively, maybe there was one gal, but they gave me a trophy. It's still sitting behind me. I want to read this just as I'm thinking about it, because I think it kind of fits. Here it goes. The world, and of course, it's a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. The world makes way for the man or woman who knows where he is going. So I think that fits nicely. I just saw it over my left shoulder, figured I'd pull it down. So that's the intentionality. That's taking life seriously. The world makes way for the man, the woman who knows where he or she is going. Take life seriously, and then don't take it too seriously. I'm signing off. Thank you for joining me. Great job. We'll see you later. Well, I thought I was going to let you go. I wanted to remind you, this is really cool. I've hung out on the website, thehabitfactor.com. You can find 3 free webinars. These are webinars. One is about the process of habit mastery and ultimately the 28-day breakthrough. The other is about happiness, and the other is about focus and productivity. You'll find them all on the Habit Factor site. I will give you the link to the 28-day webinar. I believe it is thehabitfactor.com/28. That is 28-day webinar. I'm going to confirm that right now. Yep, that's it. Confirmed. You go there, you sign up, you get a free, absolutely free webinar, 9 tips around habit mastery, and it talks, of course, about the 28-day breakthrough program. So with that, now you are set free. Go get them. Get intentional about what it is you're after. Create a spreadsheet today, and then let me know how it's going. Cheers. Hey, really quick, I just want to remind you, if you want to grab your habits and goals tracking template, the template that started it all, you can get that really quickly. Just text me at 33444 and simply text the word habits. That is habits, HABITS, to 33444, and you will get the tracking template immediately. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Thanks for dropping a quick review. It'll take you less than 30 seconds if you're getting value. And with that, I will see you on the next Mind Bullet Monday. I'm out.